In South African politics, few words carry as much weight or suspicion as the word brotherhood, especially when it is used by a senior law enforcement official under oath. When suspended Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department Deputy Chief Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi told Parliament that controversial businessman Vusimuzi Matlala was like a brother to him, the statement landed with force, not as a casual expression of familiarity, but as a symbol of how deeply personal relationships can intersect with state power. Mkhwanazi's appearance before Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating allegations of corruption and interference in the criminal justice system marked a critical moment in a saga that has come to reflect broader concerns about governance, accountability, and the integrity of South Africa's law enforcement institutions. His testimony followed earlier appearances before the Matlala Commission of Inquiry, where similar themes of trust, loyalty, and blurred boundaries between public duty and private influence emerged. At the center of the storm is Mkhwanazi himself, once regarded as one of the most powerful figures within the EMPD. As deputy chief, he occupied a strategic position in one of Gauteng's most politically and economically significant metros, a role that came with authority, influence, and access to sensitive information. Today, he is suspended, his career in jeopardy, his reputation under sustained public and parliamentary scrutiny. The controversy revolves around his relationship with Matlala, a businessman whose name has become synonymous with political unease. Matlala is linked to Medicare 24, a health services provider, and CAT VIP Security, a private security company. While Matlala has denied wrongdoing, his proximity to senior law enforcement figures has raised alarm bells in a country still grappling with the long shadow of state capture and criminal infiltration of public institutions. According to Mkhwanazi's testimony, his awareness of Matlala began in 2021 through Mike Van Wyk, a director at Medicare 24 and a close business associate of Matlala. Mkhwanazi said he already had a relationship with Van Wyk because Medicare 24 provided free health services to EMPD officers, an arrangement that, while legal, has since drawn political attention for its implications on ethical governance. The relationship between Mkhwanazi and Matlala deepened gradually. EMPD officers encountered employees from one of Matlala's companies at a shooting range. Later, during a visit to Medicare 24's offices, Mkhwanazi noticed Matlala's photograph displayed alongside other directors. When he questioned Van Wyk about it, he was informed that Matlala owned a private VIP security company and was a business partner. Mkhwanazi told Parliament that he was impressed by what he described as the quality and professionalism of Matlala's security operations. When the two eventually met, he said they developed what he characterized as a professional rapport similar to interactions he maintained with others in the broader security sector. Over time, as their discussions expanded to community safety and protection of provincial personnel, the relationship evolved beyond professional engagement. It was during this period that Mkhwanazi said Matlala became like a brother to him, a phrase that has since dominated political debate. Critics argue that such closeness between a senior police official and a private security businessman undermines public confidence in the impartiality of law enforcement. Supporters of Mkhwanazi, however, say the description reflects cultural expressions of trust rather than evidence of corruption. One of the most politically sensitive aspects of Mkhwanazi's testimony was his admission that he invited Matlala to an EMPD plenary meeting to present his VIP protection services. Although Mkhwanazi insisted that he did not participate in procurement discussions and that negotiations fell outside his official scope, opposition MPs questioned whether such facilitation alone constituted an abuse of power. In a country shaped by revelations that influence is often exercised informally rather than through official channels, MPs warn that senior officials do not need to sign contracts to exert power. They argued that access itself can tilt outcomes, especially when granted by someone at the top of a policing structure. Mkhwanazi rejected suggestions of a conflict of interest, insisting that EMPD is a public institution and that any information he shared with Matlala was publicly accessible. He maintained that he never discussed operational secrets such as planned arrests or investigations. As long as those boundaries were respected, he said, there was no ethical breach. He also addressed allegations that he facilitated the fraudulent registration of Matlala's private vehicles as municipal property, allowing them to be fitted with blue lights and police branding. Mkhwanazi flatly denied these claims, saying no such authorization was ever granted and that the vehicles were merely being considered as a potential donation to the city at an early stage. The hearing took a dramatic turn when Mkhwanazi admitted that he had accepted money from Matlala without conducting proper due diligence. Visibly emotional, he told MPs that the decision was driven by trust rather than criminal intent. It was a mistake, he said, emphasizing that the financial assistance did not buy influence, protection or unlawful favors. For many lawmakers, this admission crystallized the core problem. Even without criminal intent, they argued, accepting money from a businessman operating in the same security environment creates the perception of compromised integrity, a perception that can be just as damaging as proven corruption. Mkhwanazi also denied allegations linking him to witness intimidation, police abuse or the killing of witness D, identified as Marius van der Merwe. He confirmed that he visited the crime scene on the morning of Van der Merwe's death but said this was part of his official duties as a senior officer. He insisted there was nothing untoward about his presence and categorically denied any involvement in the killing or interference in the investigation. Adding to the tension surrounding the case, Mkhwanazi revealed that his attorney had been shot outside Booysens Magistrates Court a day before his parliamentary appearance. He described the incident as deeply traumatic, saying it had shaken his family and highlighted the dangerous environment surrounding the matter. He told MPs that he now lives under constant fear, feeling branded as a killer police by sections of the public. Throughout his testimony, Mkhwanazi portrayed himself as a target of an internal campaign within the EMPD, alleging that senior officials were fabricating allegations to remove him from leadership. He claimed there were people within the department willing to lie to undermine his position and discredit his name. Despite acknowledging serious lapses in judgment, Mkhwanazi maintained that there was no criminality in his conduct. He expressed hope that he would be given another chance to lead, promising that if reinstated, he would do everything according to the book. For Parliament, however, the issue goes beyond one individual. The case has become a political mirror reflecting South Africa's ongoing struggle to draw clear lines between public authority and private influence. MPs repeatedly stressed that public trust in law enforcement depends not only on whether laws are broken, but on whether leaders uphold the highest ethical standards. As hearings continue, the Mkhwanazi-Matlala relationship remains a powerful symbol of the fragile space where trust, loyalty, and power collide. Whether the outcome clears Mkhwanazi's name or cements his fall from grace, the political implications will reverberate far beyond Ekurhuleni, reinforcing an uncomfortable truth in South African politics: when personal bonds intersect with state power, the consequences are never merely personal.